All right, cool. It's up and running. Giving it a minute or so. Either way, then I'll still go ahead and start. Luckily, because that works well. Wonder if it's gonna be here. Hello. Checking the mic. One person. Okay, whoever's on, can you tell me if the mic is working? Because that'd be very helpful. Oh, there it goes. Now it's actually showing me. Haha, beautiful. Okay, well, hello, Jonathan. You have it like on a scheduler, don't you? Actually having these on here. All right, let's see here. So Mom wanted me to go over the, okay, nice picture. Haha, yay. That I pulled out my external webcam, so yay. Let's see. So yeah, I'm supposed to be talking about all of the stuff that typically freaks people out whenever they're looking at the news and all of that stuff, and explain how it's actually very good. So let's see here. One of the easier ones is the medical field. That's an obvious one. More and more people are turning away from it. Really, they're losing money constantly, and they're looking to keep, going down until they finally go bankrupt. So that'll be awesome. That one's kind of self-explanatory, considering medicinal and self-healing is much better than the poison that keeps getting pumped into you. One that's really interesting that I've been laughing watching is colleges. Looks like they're going to be closing down sooner than I thought on things. Their enrollments keep plummeting into non-existence because kids don't want to go there. So, needless to say, that one's good because colleges are basically brainwashing. I mean, you keep looking at them, and once the people graduate from colleges, all of a sudden they don't have any original thoughts. They're quoting stuff from 20 years ago, and it's just a little sad. They all say the same thing. Yeah, exactly. And these aren't even like the regular colleges. These are like Harvard is losing enrollments left and right. At one of the big ones, like Cambridge or something, they lost, they're losing enough money. They actually had to close down an entire dorm. Then let's see here. What's another one? Georgetown. Georgetown's another one. Yeah, like all of the big ones. They're actually losing a lot of money, and they're having to like cut out teacher or professors and all sorts of stuff. It's hilarious. So they're going down. Yeah, exactly. It's like endless. All of their staff is getting cut. Actually, entire buildings are being closed down to save money, and they just have no one to fill them. It's hilarious. Let's see here. Then we have another decently obvious one to, it looks like a lot of people know about it, but it's kind of easing people into this. So the next one that's kind of obvious is the mainstream media news. It's constantly getting proven wrong. So, hello, Kim. But yeah, so that keeps getting proven wrong because, again, dawn of the internet, you can look up anything in full without it being cut up and edited. So, very laughable. It's hilarious, honestly. I don't even know why they're still trying. They're a little slow, but they keep trying. Let's see here. I'm trying to I actually wrote notes so I could remember all of it, because normally I just kind of tell Mom as I find stuff, so I had to go backtrack. Let's see here. Oh, one of the fun things that's happening. So the whole Muslim debacle and the mass immigration thing, that has a bunch of plus sides to it. It is really cool. For starters, all of the countries that were recently, in the scope of things, recently freed by Russia, so they finally got their own country again. They are big on stopping it, and the Muslim thing is actually proving that they're actually willing to stand their ground this time and go, fuck no, we just got our country back. We're not giving it up again. And the other cool thing about them is through all of the times that they just kept getting ruled by other countries and other leaders and all this stuff, they actually managed to keep their roots, their old customs, their old religions, all of it. They kept it and taught it family to family, but they kept it underground, either in like small neighborhoods or even in families. But now that they're on their own country again, all of these people in these countries, they're actually coming out and bringing it out into the public, into light. And that includes all of their knowledge on mythical creatures, their mythos, their religions, the before religions, like way back in the day before. And this is handed down, so it's no corruption, no twisting, none of the insanity that seems to happen, especially with the new age strangeness that happens. So they're actually bringing them back out, and they're starting to do rituals and the old ways out in public. And so that's really cool. So that's one of the pluses, and they're starting to do it just because they're going, no, we finally got this place back. We're going to fucking keep it. So kudos to them. That's everything from the teeny tiny countries like Estonia to the slightly bigger ones, like Poland and stuff, and they're kind of talking with each other. So they're kind of like, keeping each other from falling to the demand. So that's really cool. Since you got on tonight, my broken has been kaput for 10 days. Ha ha ha. See, you just needed patience. Really, the tech, you got to baby the tech. If you don't baby the tech, then it's going to break on you. You also can't shoot massive energy at it. A lot of people, they'll get like, their computer will stop working, totally off topic, but their computer will stop working, then they'll get really mad at it. Then because they're mad, they're shooting a burst of energy at it, and then they're surprised that it won't work. Like, it'll get even more broken. Of course it will. It's pretty funny. Like, I shake my head at people all the time with tech. You need to calm down. Kind of like dealing with babies. You have to calm down, and then the tech will settle. Exactly. Go to happy timelines, and it'll all be good. Calm, happy, balanced, all of that good stuff. All right. Let's see here. Now, you are going to see some videos on those countries and stuff. Some of them are kind of talking about Christianity, but that's more the politicians, and those guys, politicians are always slower on the uptake. But if you actually look at the videos of regular people, they're also bringing back a lot of their old music, and that's really good. Their old music, their old instruments. I mean, it's all around really super cool about those countries. Actually kind of makes me want to learn some of their languages, because that'd be really cool. Let's see here. Then the other benefit to the whole migration thing is actually one of the problems was they're so bad on like so many levels. Like, come on, they're not exactly the best for either divine masculine or divine feminine. Muslims, they're just not. So, or acceptance or open-mindedness or paganism or so many things. They're not really compatible. But they had this actually big, pretty decent size area that was heavily concentrated, all desert, all broken, very, very, very damaged land that they damaged. And, my chat disappeared. There it goes. So basically this migration, instead of them being all concentrated in this area, just going crazy, like too much of them, it couldn't even be countered on a subconscious or a high level, just because there's so many of them in this area, so concentrated, continuing to do all of this really badness. Well, with them being spread out everywhere across the planet, well, obviously it gets diluted on a energetic level, because they're not all concentrated. Even whenever they go in bundles, it's just less. So that also helped. Plus, okay, and this is one where the cold-hearted person, a lot of said people that left, they died on the way. They're dying on the way back. That's getting rid of a lot of people that are wanting to stay in the 3D realm. Well, now they get shuffled off to a different planet to continue their 3D-ness. You know, what they want to do. So that's also working well, because each person that's of lower vibes that either wants to go down or stay where they are, they have to leave the planet one way or another. So every dead person like that, it's actually a good thing. Plus, they get to continue their game. So it's good for them too, actually. All right, hanging on a second to read. When she gets mad, breaks glass, letters, blow up computers, go crazy. Work, she burned. Okay. So basically, who you're talking about, Kim, is not paying attention to the continual problems there whenever she gets mad and gets around anything electronic. That's funny. Yeah, you need to tell her every time she's mad, just like, you know, outside. Go outside, away from all computer, techno, anything with a chip in it. That would make things much better. Another good thing about the whole Muslim thing is it actually is letting a lot of people get out that do want to get out of the religion also. And so then they're allowed to change because they're not in a place where if they do leave, they get killed. Again, another very helpful thing. Taking that off so I can keep tabs of my notes. Yep, she is, for many years, she is of Pagan. Do you mean pagan? Well, if she's a pagan, then she should know better. It's all of, well, not necessarily. There's a lots of different pagans. So I'm more of a specified pagan that deals mostly with energy. So, but I have noticed a lot of pagans don't actually do much in the whole energy realm and stuff. So they're kind of clueless in a lot of ways. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so the ex-Muslims, that's skyrocketing high, especially with women. So that's very good. Especially considering they're coming out of this, like, you know, they're really, really bad place. So whenever they get out, they have this, like, whoosh of really goodness. And they're not, like, you know, they have a little bit of anger and stuff. But really, if you weigh it and really watch them, they're just so happy to be free that all in all, their energy levels aren't that bad. So that's also super, super good. And the less of that happening, the better and easier it is for the divine to kind of sort itself out. I can't say what she is because of you not supposed to reveal who. I mean, it's not the greatest to out someone who doesn't want to be outed. But all in all, really, people do need to get over that whole hiding from the trinity of assholes as a general whole. They kind of are in for a rude awakening whenever people start coming out as pagans, which was the next thing I was going to say was all of Europe and a lot of places, but primarily Europe, there's a lot of people coming out and finally going, you know what, I'm not Christian, I'm not this, I'm not that, I am pagan, I am this, I am that. And that's wonderful to see, because the more people that actually come out and say what they really are instead of like hiding because of fear, one, it'll kind of put the holy trinity of assholes kind of in a state of shock because they're going, oh my God, we thought we had this huge number. Turns out, no, we didn't. So that would be wonderful to see. Plus, you just need to get rid of the fear. You need to be able to just say, no, I am this, and without it being a thing, you know. I mean, it shouldn't be as bad as you shouldn't have to come out of the closet on this. So you should just be able to say what you are. But, portal watchers? Well, okay, so she's going to be going 4D then? I mean, all cool for her, but me, not my gig. Jonathan, New Age, higher vibe than Christianity. honestly, a lot of them are the same as Christianity. The New Agers, they very, very quickly turned everything dogmatic, just as judgmental and ostracizing. If you don't agree with everything that they think, then they're just as bad as Christians. Yeah. It's a familiar portal. Witches reside on her property. Yeah, yeah, Kim, that sounds like she's, I mean, if you're dealing with like portals and if she's dealing with portals and stuff, then odds are she's going to be kind of going the 4D route there. Because 5D, you don't need portals. That's, it's like the whole thing, it's like encompassing. And Watchers of Portals, that sounds 4D because 5D doesn't need Watchers, you know, because you literally can't get there if you're just outside the range. So if it's a Watcher situation, that would be 4D. So yeah, but if that's where she lives, then then she's energetically close to that, you know. Is the Bermuda Triangle a portal or earthbound black hole? I wouldn't call it a black hole, no. Bermuda Triangle, that has a massive string of ley lines and are connecting, so you have an easier to jump up or jump away, or all sorts of weirdness can happen there, but that's a massive ley line situation. Have you heard about a portal to Neptune under the Great Pyramid? Technically, a portal in any of those regards can pop up anywhere because that's 4D rules and their space isn't a thing. Or it's very flimsy in any case, so they can pop up portals wherever the hell they want. Probably great changing. The pyramids can be used for either really good stuff or really bad stuff. So the 4D guys, they want it so they can use it to what their idea of good or bad is. But yeah, so it's kind of moot because you don't need to use it. So let them have it. Let them have fun with it. Let's see here. The next really good thing about the Muslims is actually there is a decent reform happening. So even if we can't get them out of the religion, they will still raise their vibrations if they do reform it and treat it more like Christianity. You know, Christians have thrown out pretty much 94% of the book because it's like, you know, outdated and stuff. And it looks like there's a push coming for reformers to do that. So that is helping things massively. Thank you so much, Kim. Let's see. Then, of course, there is massive women's rights fights. You won't see that on the news anywhere, and it's really not even being talked about in alt news. You got to do really massive amounts of digging to find it, but it is there, and they are doing very well. Of course, there are women being jailed and tortured and killed, but that's their choice. And the movement is actually gaining. It helps that actually, in the 70s, quite a lot of those places had better women's rights than us before they reverted somehow. So they should be able to get it back, and it looks like they're doing pretty good about that. It's going to take a little bit of time, but hey, anything that's good, right? All of the religions really are losing massive numbers, and the more that none of the religions are exceptionally good. You can take it to a good place. It's very tricky, but you can do it. But it's a lot easier to see the religions losing numbers in general as a better, it makes it easier, really, considering they kind of, whenever people do that, they either go hardcore atheist, but a lot of times they just go, I know there's something else out there. I know there's something, I just don't know what it is. I don't believe any book has the answers. And that is actually very good. So that's happening massively across all religions, including Hindus, like the typical ones that you think of, but including Hindus, Buddhists, just all across the board. It's really cool. And then you got the other ones, of course. You do have the other ones that go back to like their ancestors' religions, but that's going back to like the way back in the day nature. So as long as they don't go the New Ager route, then, you know, that's also super good. And then if they decide to go the New Ages route, that's just them deciding to go, deciding to go to 4D. So again, that is totally cool for them, and they can go through the portals and stuff, you know, and then they can get off the planet and leave us be. And they can go play their games and have fun and stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, lots of pagans are coming out. I'm seeing it all over the place, especially in YouTube comments and a lot of videos that if you do enough digging, you can find them. And they're just, it's massive. They're going back to them a lot. Let's see here. Take that away. Now, another good thing that's actually happening is the walkaway movement. If either of you have heard of it, I'm assuming you have. What they keep pushing is like, you know, it's Democrats walking away, and they're almost giving it this connotation about, I mean, like they're kind of almost giving the story like they're leaving and becoming conservatives, which is stupid and not at all what is happening. Because if you actually watch the videos from these guys, and I've watched a lot of them, they're walking away and deciding to start thinking critically. That because they're walking away from it, because they were raised to be it, because they assumed that that's what they should be, they didn't think. They didn't actually do any research about it at all. And so whenever they walk away, they start deciding to look at it issue by issue, thing by thing. So they become more critically thinking. They think for themselves. They kind of are more in themselves. And that's very, very good. And it's not just one side, which is very silly to assume. But they don't talk about it as much, but the extremes on both sides, they're walking away. It's just that one happens to have a movement behind it, and the other one is doing it a lot less, you know, they're not being as open about it. Mainly because a lot of times they just, on this side, the conservative side, they tend to just kind of go, I decided to become a centralist. I decided to become a libertarian. So, whereas the left side, they're kind of have this whole big thing. But really, a lot of them, they're becoming center, which is good because that's balance. And balance is very important. And free thinking is very important. And looking at, and they also, whenever they do that, they start actually thinking of these outside of the box ways to answer these questions, and they start looking at it instead of, I'm going to choose this so someone else can try to fix the problem. These guys are actually starting to now think of how they can fix the problem, which again, putting more, you know, putting their lives back in their own hands. They're not looking for someone else to do it all, which is very, very good to see. And it's going across not just for the politicals, it's going across on anything that you were all of these people were brainwashed with all of these things that they grew up with, where their families, their friends, their neighborhoods, their teachers, blah, 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 decided that they were just drilled into them that they need to be this or this or this or that. Religion, politics, whatever. But all of these people, they're just walking away from all of it. And that's very, very good. So then they start thinking for themselves in all of the different realms. And they're also becoming, because of that, they've also become a lot more open-minded and a lot more accepting of different people, and appreciating people with different thoughts. So all the way around, it has excellent, excellent things. Just by that one movement, that one little hashtag by one gay guy has done wonders on so many levels. And then, of course, the news makes it look all terrible and weird and stuff. It's funny. Let's see here. No, I haven't talked about Hollow Earth. Again, that's more 4D. I can do it at a different time, but this one's more mundane muggle stuff and showing it. Yeah, both sides really are fear-based. Both extremes, any extreme on that is so bad of humans. They do it in everything. It is ridiculous. And they're starting to stop the whole extremist, the polarity, one side or the other, and it can never be in the middle. They're finally stopping that, so that's very nice. Yeah, and that's totally cool for you to do too. Not follow any of it. Don't go into it. There are quite a few people that do, and in Jonathan's case, it's kind of hard for him not to hear about it in some regards. Uh, so it's good to hear how bad stuff is actually really good stuff. Um, but me personally, I mean, on one hand, it's very cool if that's the way you want to go about it. I like looking at it. I like seeing where we are, if we're on the right track, uh, if we've kind of fallen off the vibrational scale, lowered further than we want, or this or that. Because watching the world and watching people that you don't necessarily agree with and how they're doing will tell you where you are standing while you're trying to get to 5D, especially if you can take it so it's not so serious. If you take more of a George Carlin approach where you kind of can laugh at it regardless, even if you don't like it, you can just laugh. Again, always get a popcorn whenever you do it. What's going to get you to 5D faster? What? All right, I'm clearing this, so waiting on that answer. Yeah, popcorn, always good. And it always puts you more in like a laughing, you know, you're about to be entertained. You know, it kind of goes, it gets in your head, you know. The popcorn always means entertainment, good movie, something like that. So it works well. And if that's the way that it works for you, not watching the news and stuff, then totally that's the way to go. In my particular case, I like watching them. I like laughing at them. And I think it's fun to see how it's playing out, especially because I don't take it seriously. Exactly. Like just, it's a show. It's a game. It's a interesting thing to watch and smirk at. Like, again, let's see here. The United States pedo arrests and charges being placed. I lost my chat again. Woo! Come back to me, chat. There you go. The pedo arrests and stuff, that is continuing to rise and rise and rise, and I am laughing as it happens. It's not even, they also keep going higher and higher as to who is getting arrested. I mean, you have hot, like, mid-level politicians getting arrested on pedophilia charges. You have heads of colleges, and I mean, so there is no safe thing. It's not just all of these like little low guys. You know, actually upstanding citizens are getting arrested now, and charges are being placed on them. And it just continues to rise. That's been happening since Trump got in. So that's been a wonderful thing to watch. Me cry. Well, you know, Kim, if sad things make you cry, then you are going to have to come to terms with that eventually, because you can't judge people on their choices. You have to accept them and not get affected by it. So you do need to consider that eventually. Whenever you're ready, you do need to consider the fact that you are going to have to be able to look at something that you typically would not like, that would make you cry, that would make you angry, that would make you depressed, and so it doesn't affect you anymore. It's very, very, very important. You cannot, that's part of judging. If it makes you cry, that is in a way you judging. Canceled your cable, waste of money. I agree. Cable is a waste of money. Have not had cable for years. I can get tons of stuff online. Don't even need cable. And the commercials drove me crazy. So that was really fun. Whenever I got rid of cable, I'm like, yes. Even whenever YouTube got commercials, it was so insignificant in compared to what you were dealing with cable. And you're just like, I was just kind of going, I don't even care. Don't even care. Hello, Michelle. Donald Duck. Yes. All of the Looney Tunes. You should just watch lots of Looney Tunes. Let's see here. Then, let's see. Let's see here. One of the other things that people keep going on and on and on about, like it's the end of the world, is the EU breaking apart. EU breaking apart. Oh my God, the Wobinons, they're gonna split into madness and chaos, and it's pretty funny watching that one. Like, because that's a big one that I keep seeing is like a lot of people try to make it sound like it's a terrible thing that is breaking apart, but that actually is a 4D thing that we do not want, because how they're, it's wonderful words, that, like so many things they do. It's wonderful words. Oh yes, we'll be one planet and one everything. Well, of course, these guys that are trying to set it up, specifically starting with the EU, being like a group all together with the same laws, is they're doing it for all of the wrong reasons. So they're like taking rights away left and right under this supposed everyone should be, like you should throw all the laws into one pot because everyone agrees, but they're taking like the worst of all laws and putting them together. So it's a very good thing that they're actually that's falling apart, because like Italy's breaking away, the four biggies like Poland and stuff, those guys, they won't get out of the EU, but they are not going to follow stupid laws that they try to come up with. They just immediately say no. So that's fun. And that's working out really well, and they're really toppling really fast. Let's see, you got Austria is another one. Switzerland never did fall. They pretty much stayed in their nice little isolation, all nice like. Russia didn't really change much. Slovakia, that's another one. That's one out of the four that they're not going to follow the stupid rules. So that's actually working out really well, and they're kind of stubbornly sticking with it. And it looks like Sweden's actually going to turn sides. Their election is actually looking like they're going to change to a nationalist, and that's going to put them on the side of the people not agreeing to stupid rules that are hurting people. And if they stick with the four that refuse to get out of the EU, that would be even better, because then they just refuse to let them make stupid rules that hurt people. The less rules that hurt people, the more happier people are, the better people are. And the less money that goes to stupid stuff, and like more money that they keep, the better for everyone, the happier for everyone. So again, all very good things, even though it looks like it's terrible. That is the common thing. Constantly them going, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm going, this is fantastic. Hungary actually went after Soros. So again, that's a wonderful thing that happened. I haven't heard of many countries that have actually gone up against him, but they held their ground, and they let him keep his college, but he was doing a lot of illegal stuff with his college, like ignoring borders and all of this weirdness. And really they were kind of doing fraud. And so Hungary made him stop doing that. And they actually enforced it. And that was really cool to see. Because he's one of the big, not the biggest because we know his name, but he's one of the bigger players of the 4D thing that's happening. So him going down is, again, for people that are trying to go to better places, it's a very good thing that happened. Stay away from that stuff. Donald. I used to watch TV. I Love Lucy. Hey, I love that one. Never got into My Name Is Earl. Never. I just couldn't get into it. That was just me. But I love Lucy. And I Dream of Jeannie and Gilligan's Island and Three's Company. All of those. All of those were awesome. The Apocalypse. No. None of this stuff is going with the Apocalypse. Monsters! Loved Monsters! Yes. Actually, I need to get Monsters because it's been forever since I've watched those. I've gotten a lot of them again just because I'm like, I miss them. I want to watch them again. They're funny. Let's see here. Another one to disprove the insanity press is actually, okay, the one that's been going around for such a long time now has been climate control. Climate control, pollution's going to kill us all. Oh my God. Yes, because a bunch of tiny little humans are going to destroy the planet. Yeah, that's going to happen. No. So actual scientists that study climate and study atmospheres and study all of this they came out and admitted that they miscalculated the studies, and what we are doing has little to no effect on the planet. And they actually showed the studies instead of just saying, voila, it's a terrible thing, but it's too technical, you can't see it. No, these guys actually showed it, and so the planet is fine, Gaia is fine, humans are not destroying the planet environmentally. Total bull. So again, super good news, and it's something that is not, of course, being told in the news, because that's a good news thing, not a bad news thing. That is also what this whole like newest thing about like Trump is cutting out more environmental stuff. Oh my God, he's going to destroy the planet. No, the climate control studies proved that they were wrong. And of course, it was the chick that one of the main scientists is a chick. And so she just kind of went, nope, this needs to be said. We were wrong. And she said pretty much point blank, we were wrong with this study. We miscalculated. So no, he's not destroying the planet, blah, 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 blah. So yay. See you, Kim. Let's see here. I don't know if I actually did that or if that popped in my head. Blech. Let's see here. Checking. Oh, yes. One of the other things to notice is whenever you do see the news or you hear someone talking about the news or anything whatsoever in those lines, and it's something either really good or really bad. Again, the extremist thing. Well, one of the good things about this extremism is it's going to be more and more obvious, more and more severe. Come back to me, chat. Come back. Come back. Okay, I think it's still rolling. I just cannot see that. So I'm going to finish this thought. Hopefully that comes back. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Whenever it gets to be really extreme-y, then actually that is showing that the timelines are collapsing. And that, again, is very good for us because we want the timelines to collapse, because the more they collapse, the higher that we can go, because we're not as fractal. We are defractaling. So that is actually a very good thing. But it's always going to look very bad because of the extreme examples as these things keep colliding down in one way or another. Normally, there's 2 to 3 of them as they keep going, but it's actually a very good thing. And that's part of why it's fun to watch this, to make sure that you are on the right area, because if you're... Nope. Balder. This is Balder. Say hello, Balder. He's getting huge. No, down. Down. Balder. There it is. It is back. All right, cool. Jonathan, DC has been being attacked. DC has been crazy. 2 marches last weekend. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of marches. There's going to be a lot of insanity. A lot of those guys are, well, DC is, like I said, there's actually a lot of changes that's happening in DC, and a lot of good changes happening in DC. But again, that's going to start showing the extremists, the polarities, as things start going down. Balder, stop. Hang on a second. Balder, down. Go eat a toy. Eat a toy. Here, stop. There you go. Okay. Yelling at him with Mike is not a good idea. So, yeah, as they get more extremified, and as we go down, you're going to see some interesting things happen, like Balder jumping on me constantly. Down. So, especially in DC, because you got a lot of bad, and then you got a lot of good that suddenly dropped in, like just fell in. So that's going to be having interesting time as it balances out. And yeah, plus you have the QAnon, which is another lower level thing that's happening. And they're basically white hats down in the lower games. And the white hats, you know, they're constantly messing with the globalists, the cabal people, the Five Sisters, whatever you want to call them. The white hats are the guys that are constantly countering them. And it keeps getting proven, or like little hints here and there that you constantly see that they keep being right. QAnon, also, side note, they're actually more like they're young people that are kind of like, fuck it, we don't care. So we're gonna do this because we have nothing to lose and we're invincible because we're young. So they're gonna drop the information because they don't care. And but yeah, so they drop information and they kind of are messing up things that the bad guys keep trying to do, which is good for us. Because if it was leaning more, the bad guys were winning, well, we'd be kind of on not the best timelines for what we're trying to do. So anytime that we see the more signs of divine, I hate human words, but the more that you see like the divine aspects instead of the undivine, that means that you're a bit more on the lines that you want to be on. So, and QAnon, that's a really big thing, and they keep getting stuff right. They keep, they're doing it a very good way, and it's really funny watching Trump say that, or basically hint that he's part of it and stuff. So that's really hilarious. Also, I'm betting that pisses off so many people. Have someone that like doesn't have to follow doesn't have to follow their rules, doesn't have to take their orders because he has his own money. So he's hilarious. He is like a Joker card stuck in the deck, going, "I'm just gonna fuck with stuff." But and hell, every time they attack him, his approval rating goes up. It's hilarious. Anytime anyone attacks his family, his approval ratings go up. It is the funniest thing. They have got to. The bad guys are not learning. They're doing it very slowly, and they're not learning. So they keep doing all of these old ways, and it keeps failing. So, of course, they keep doing these bigger and bigger and bigger things like paying more people for protests and like causing riots and stuff. But that just pisses off regular people even more, and so then they side with Trump more. Again, they're not being smart. They're really not. It's pretty funny. But and something you got to always take into account is a lot of those are paid people. The people at the marches and stuff, they're either paid or the starters are paid, and then they have a lot of well-meaning people that don't really know why they're there. That happens a lot. A lot of people that don't know what the hell they're doing there, but they're doing it to support blah, blah, because they assume it's this or they assume it's that, but they never actually pay attention. It's pretty interesting to watch that. Let's see here. Easily half, if not more. I mean, I can't tell. I've lost count at how many videos that have essentially like people just with cell phones, you know, and they're at those events and they just always catch stuff that's just kind of going, clearly that's not real. Or clearly this is not for the right reasons, just because everyone has a camera now. Everyone has a camcorder, you know, you can't do that kind of stuff anymore. If you do need to kind of inch your way up to stuff, like kind of learning how to watch this stuff in a better way. This one guy, Destroy the Illusion, he bounces. So you got to watch him. You got to kind of watch him with a grain of salt. But he is a good person to watch if you can do it, because he tends to bounce between 4D and 5D. He's forever doing that. It's like he can't decide which way he wants to go. If he wants to go to 5D or 4D. So he kind of keeps bouncing back and forth. But he does have really good intel, and overall, he's a really nice guy. He doesn't go crazy about anything, really. But he gets hung up on the toys. He gets hung up on the tech. That's his biggest thing that gets like him like pulled down so much. That and ego. But the bigger one is toys. He's like, I want the toys. It's fine. They don't want peace. They wish it was still 1968 instead of 20. Well, more like they still think it is like that, and they're just slow. They're the bad guys on these lower rungs. They're just very slow. Whenever you have something that's worked for so long, those guys get in a rut too. So, and it's actually a really good thing, because if they were smart and quick to update their tactics and stuff, we would have a harder time successfully getting to higher levels easily. But because they are stuck in the rut, that makes it easier for us, because they don't know how to counter all this stuff. They don't know how to counter the internet. They keep trying and failing miserably to control the internet. They can't do it. They cannot control information because, again, everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has internet on said cell phone. Everyone has cameras, videos that they can plug into their computer and upload it. They cannot control the stuff that they thought they could control because they're slow on the uptake. And so that works really, really well. The normal media, the regular TVs, all of the stuff that they banked on is leaving, is gone. It has no influence. So, and that is proving very beneficial for us. So instead, I kind of look at it as a very good thing. So these guys are 4D solid, or some, or a lot of them still 3D. Well, that's where it gets a little interesting, because you got some of them that are steadfastly, they want to go to 4D. No ands or buts. Then you got other ones that are 4D, but they're going down. So in a way, if they're not going down, like they're in the process of going down. So there might be a little bit of overlay, not much, because whenever they drop into 3D, they're pretty much going to go to a different place. But there is still going to be a little bit there whenever they go like right to the bottom rungs of 4D, because again, they're going down. We don't have everyone just going up or staying put. We got people going, you know, Willy Wonka's elevator? That's what's happening. People are going in all different directions. It is not simple. It is not, people are not going to be herded in like into groups like that. So everyone is going their own way. So you got some that are going down to 3D, some that are staying in 4D, others that are going to 5D, and others that are trying to zip past 5D to go way, 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 way out there. Stop. And then you got some people that are trying to skip 3D and go down to 2D. You got those guys too. So it goes all over the place. Okay, get this out of the way because I talked about that. Oh my goodness, you waited. You waited until this was going, didn't you? He waited. He did this intentionally. Now he is a crazy puppy. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. If you ever need to watch someone that is like a good example of a lot of divine masculine, good masculine traits and such and so forth, a good person to watch is actually Reuben Report. He does not attack people. He lets them talk. He projects this kind of open, safe place to let you say whatever you want. He does interviews, but he never attacks them. He never, he lets them talk. And he's very lighthearted and very jovial. And I watch him a lot, and I don't even pay attention a lot to what his people are talking about, because I just like how he feels. His vibrations feel so good that I just like watching him. Because it's such a relief. It feels so good. Part of it is he's so big on free speech. I don't care if he agrees or disagrees. He wants everyone to have a nice, good, honest place that they can talk. Because his big thing is free speech. Ow. Let's see. Now, is 660? Oh man, no. See. That's one of those human things, the 6D, 5D, 4D, 2D. That is purely man-made. So we can kind of use it to describe stuff, but technically speaking in 4D can easily have at least 20 different levels. At least. You know, probably more like 100, honestly. That would all be classified by humans as 4D. But they're all, like, the top versus the bottom, significantly different. The same goes for 3D. The same goes for 5D. And you can take it up as high as you want to, but the higher you go, the less humans can understand. The less humans can actually understand it. So I would not really even bother thinking about 60 or higher, because you're just going to confuse yourself. And if you set beliefs on something, remember, if you believe something, that becomes your reality. So giving you a goal with 5D is a very good thing. And once you're in 5D, then you'll remember. You won't be stuck in this human brain. And then it'll be moot because you'll know it all. If you kind of get this mindset of like 6D now, then you're going to cause yourself problems with going up higher. And why give yourself an extra rule that you have to get rid of, basically? So I would just not even pay attention to that. I keep, ow! Ow! Oh, he's terrific. Ruben? Yeah, I love him. I love him. Like I said, I don't really pay too much attention to what is talked about because I just like watching him. I like his vibes. Love his vibes, actually. There are other guys that I really enjoy watching just because their vibes are nice. Another one is like Douglas Murray. His vibes feel wonderful. Coleon Noor, he has really good vibes. And it's very funny, actually, considering he's a lawyer and he's a gun rights activist, but he has just really good, calm, chill, good guy vibes. Like, honest good guy, not, you know, bad guys saying, oh, I'm a good guy. No, actually has good guy vibes. There's a couple other ones. I'm very picky about them also. But, ow. Oh, you're getting attacked. Let's see here. Oh, another thing to go over, really, with updates on the news and the chaos and even eavesdropping, going onto Facebook, whatever. If you see a bunch of razzle-dazzle, if you see a bunch of, like, upping something really big and bad and, like, putting emphasis on it, guaranteed they're lying. Guaranteed. If you don't have time or don't want to look into it, assume they're lying about something and dismiss it. Makes it really easy. It's very much, it's a lot like their news articles, whenever they really push and focus on something. If they're putting a lot of razzle-dazzle to it, it's a lot like the song in Chicago. How can they think straight, or how can they see clearly whenever they have glitter in their eyes? It is very accurate, and that's what they're doing. That's what they always do. So really, it's just a matter of ignoring it all the time. All the time. And I keep getting it. This is just the door. He is officially, Balder is officially in that phase where he chews on everything. Constantly chewing. But he looks like he's having so much fun. So much fun. Let's see. Ow. Okay, I already covered that. Let's see here. But yeah, I got a bunch of the stuff that I remember telling Mom about, that we've been laughing about, going, yes, awesome points, showing in the right direction, going really good. You have a bunch of teachers that are like, about the whole, like, you know, those classes that are like, I don't know, they're like, they're kind of the dumbish classes. It's like equality class or something, or culture equality, something like that. But there's been several of them whenever they get to the, they go into race, and specifically this one dude, he said that, you know, race is a factor, and if a white woman sees him, they're going to go to the other side of the street. A student asked him if he noticed that black women did it. And he kind of went, well, no. So she asked him to pay attention to it, and then next class, let him know. And then he actually did it. And that was the cool thing. He actually did it. And then he came back the next day to class, and he just went, oh my God, how did I not notice this? Well, he was so focused on the race part that he didn't notice that all women were doing it, because he was a big guy. And so that made them wary. It didn't matter what he looked like, except for he's a big male. And so he altered his course in this class to take that into account. And so it was really nice to see. He actually listened. He actually went through it, and he tweaked it, really, instead of just going over these like blanket statements that are assumptions and ideologies that aren't really considered much before they start teaching it. He actually, again, critical thinking, objectivity, paid attention. No, it wasn't women's studies, actually. That's what threw me, because like it was all about culture. It was like different cultures. So I kept trying to think, actually. I kept going, it was not women's studies, even though it kept popping into my head. I know it wasn't. Ow. Just engage. Okay, yeah. Look there. Look there. Good boy. Look at that Ludo face. Ludo face. Yes, Balder. Insanity. He's an insane puppy. He's driving me crazy. But yeah, there's been several of those. And those keep happening more and more. So assuming the teacher is like doing it for the best intentions, a lot of those are getting converted into being something not extremist, which is, again, very nice to see because, again, there's extremes on all sides. But they're actually getting whittled down or they're being compacted together. So it won't be, as they keep doing that, then we'll get to see more and more good and easier to get away from what we don't want. So yeah. Ow. Let's see here. Ow. Ow. Let's see here. And then, of course, let me actually went through everything. And I'm not up. I still have 5 minutes left. Dun, dun, dun. Why? Why? But yeah, so, ow. No. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. Okay. Down. But yeah, so really the only thing I have left, I don't even know if I want to say it. So yeah, that's everything. How are you doing? Ow. Ooh. How are you doing, Jonathan? Ow. Chewing. Chewing. Sock. Eat sock. Better since Sunday. Well, that's good. Always better. Always better is always good. Things are always awesomeness. Yeah, actually, like the other day, I had one of those. I keep getting those days where it's the time flies by, so you think it's only been like you only think it's been like an hour. Turns out it's been 4. That's been happening to me like all the time lately. Yeah, mom's panic attacks with the chaos problem with the feminine. It's been interesting. It'll be really nice whenever it's been completely sorted. At least with like the starting phases, considering that again, it'll have a bit of a tier, but like one of the main ones that should be done soon. So that'll be really nice. I believe it's actually the last day of like the first round of the problems with the whole balancing and morphing and all of that stuff. I think it's going to be the 30th is whenever it's going to be up on that. Not completely finished, but the first round of the really badness. So, actually, I mean, on one hand, it is a lot of times it's city triggered with her, but there are a lot of other triggers that comes with it. And her triggers on those particular panic attacks actually were not city triggered. It kind of wore her down, so it made it easier. But the big thing that happened with that was actually her root chakra was massively blocked. So whenever the divine feminine came in, part of what needs to be healed is the root chakra. She can't assimilate the divine feminine without her root chakra being cleared. So that had to be cleared. But she's tried over the years many times. You know a bit about her past, specifically her childhood. So it's so bad and so blocked in such a horrendous way. All of her attempts to do it consciously failed, really. It was just too bad she couldn't do it. So Gaia stepped in to fix it subconsciously. One of the downsides is because it was subconsciously, that also meant that mom didn't know it was coming, so it sent her off into panic attacks. So that was a lot to do with the panic attacks. Now, mom going through cities, yeah, that always hits her pretty hard. Me, it depends on the city. Like, I actually whenever I went to Chicago, instead of having a badness, I actually had really energized by it. I went to New York City, and I could never, ever live there. But for visits, it was actually really fun and felt really good. It would only drive me crazy if I lived there. But yeah, cities like Houston, though, oh, terrible. And PTSD. Yeah, PTSD is a hard one to get rid of. And a lot of the blocks from the root chakra were actually traumatic events. So that meant that the traumatic events, even if they weren't consciously re-experienced on one level or another, it was at least somewhat experienced again. So that would cause massive problems by feeling it. Even if you didn't know that it was happening on subconscious, it'd be like reliving it in a way. So, eat this. Oh, really? You don't like it? Even for like short-term visits? New York, I mean? Whenever I went, I only went for about 24 hours. That was the only amount of time that I had for. But I actually really, really liked it. Because I can actually sift through a lot of the badness and focus on the good stuff. Like, I just do it instinctually. But no, I had a great time whenever I was there. One of the first things that I saw while I was walking away from the bus stop to figure out how to get to my hostel, this guy started walking next to me, and he just started singing this random 80s song. I cannot remember what it was right now, but he just started singing it really loudly. And then we wound up talking and just walking and talking as I was trying to figure out where I was going, and he wound up getting lost because we were talking, and it was the funniest thing. We had actually a really good time. I say that because it's like a magnet pulling you into the competition. I'd imagine that'd be accurate if in a living situation. I can see you falling into it pretty easily. Luckily, going in with a tourist mindset, there's not much competition in being a tourist. So, I love New Orleans. No sleep back home. Yeah, exactly. New Orleans, that's kind of the same thing. Wouldn't want to live there, but it's fun for short trips. So, yeah, it's a lot of places. A lot of cities are like that. Chicago, I did pretty good, considering I think I was there for about a week. And I did not sleep much. I did not sleep much while I was there, but I had a blast. Well, if you want to talk mosquitoes, that's almost everywhere in the South. We have mosquitoes right now that are terrible. Right now, I can't even go to the creek right now without being eaten alive. Ow. Or putting on the stinky bug spray. Ow. Okay, ow. 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 Okay, you know what, Father? Okay, it is 8 o'clock, and I have a wild and woolly here who is going crazy. So, love you guys, and hopefully this helps you and other people that watch it and such and such. I've never been to Cleveland, so I've always kind of wondered what it'd be like there. But yeah, so we need to eventually just make a list of all the places to like go to just for visits. Then we can rate them. That'd be fun. Ooh, rate them on the fun times, the good times, the bad times. Ow. But yeah, so I am going to go ahead and end this. And hopefully this will also get some people to think of some questions. That would be awesome. We need more questions. So many more questions are needed. Anyway, talk to you later, guys. Bye. Ow. Ow. Bye.